Hey there, as you can see I have prepped a black canvas. It was bought already painted black from Michaels. I put a 50-50 mix of black with Owatrol, Easy Flow. This is a water-based or latex-based paint conditioner, so you cannot put it with oil-based paint. It's not made for oil-based paint, it's all made for water-based. So all of my colors, and they're all DecoArt today, are mixed 50-50 with Owatrol. I also have black in a bottle. I take all my squeeze bottles and put all the lids in one little cup, and that way they're not hard to find. And so the colors that I may or may not use today are all in the squeeze bottles, or these right here. So I'm going to list every one of them, and I'll list below the video the actual colors that I do end up using. So this is titanium white, lamp black, primary yellow, orange flame, Tuscan red, carousel pink, primary magenta, which does require some water added to it. The other bottle paints do not require water added to it. Sour apple, festive green, bright blue, dioxazine purple, purple rain, sea breeze, desert turquoise, ultra blue deep, and then I make a peacock color that is peacock teal, ultra blue deep, and evergreen mixed together. So what I do is I take all of those colors, I mix each color in a cup, 50-50, 1-to-1 ratio with Owatrol, and then you don't pretty much need to add any water from the bottled paint, but if it's in a tube you do. And then you put a drop of spot-on treadmill lubricant per ounce of paint mixture. So if you mix 4 ounces of paint and Owatrol, then you put 4 drops in. So that means you have 2 ounces of paint, 2 ounces of Owatrol, which makes 4 ounces, and then you put 4 drops. Then I transfer it into my squeeze bottles, which they stay in my squeeze bottles indefinitely. You can keep them in there as long as you want to. And you shake it, and that's what causes the smaller cells, not large cells. Do not expect large cells from squeeze bottle paint because there is some shaking and mixture going on pretty constantly. Also, I add paint to it as I run out, so there's a continual addition of paint added to it. I've got my normal little tools, scrapers, straws, skewer, store card, and so I had done a couple of floral paintings. So I'm on a kind of a flower kick right now, and then I want to get back to some of my larger swipes and things like that. And I've got a mermaid project that I want to do, and I've got a lot that I want to do. So I am going to kind of make this just a little bit more of a, what would you call it? I'm just going to make it just kind of an abstract floral, I think. I'm not going to plan anything specific, but I do know I want some flowers and leaves, that kind of thing. My head will get in the way, and I'll try to use the plastic tubing some, but I really like using the straw better, but I'll pull out my plastic tubing just in case. You also, when you have plastic tubing or whatever, you have to make sure that you do not have any moisture in it that comes out, otherwise it'll kind of ruin your artwork. So I'm going to do kind of an abstract kind of version of flowers and things, and I had done one on a dark background that was smaller that I kind of really liked the colors, and I wanted to change it up just a little bit, but I think I'm going to maybe try to do it again. My white and black do not have silicone. All my colors do. I am going to use my larger straw. So this time I needed to use a little bit more paint, but I put the purple rain on top of the Dioxazine Purple, and so it came out more purple feeling. That one I put bright purple down first, the Purple Rain, and then the Dioxazine Purple on top. So the straw had some water in it. So this one does a little bit different when you blow the thicker straw. You have more air that comes out in a smaller straw, so you have to kind of control it a little bit better. This one is more dispersed, and you need a good amount of paint if you're going kind of larger scale. This is a 16 by 20 canvas, and I don't think I put quite enough paint on there. I really had to push it to get it to go out. But this is regular consistency as far as the paint mixture. It's, you know, 50-50 with Owatrol. So I didn't mix it any more fluid or thicker or anything. To me, it's a little easier to get the petal shape with a thicker straw. See, I have water. I have water right here that came out of the straw. So this one looks, you know, kind of different. So what I'm going to do is kind of re-blow this flower. And basically, you're just going to get more layers of color, so that's not a bad thing. I may not have put enough white. Okay, I should have just left well enough alone. And I got some splatter going on, which I don't want. So I've learned if you blow too hard, it goes down into the black and brings that black up. So that is why this one looks that way. But they don't have to perfectly match each other. So I think on this one I'm going to put the bright blue as the accent color. And it's going to be a 4-petal, a little bit different looking. So you definitely have to put the color, you have to blow the color into the other color I have discovered. So we'll just try a little bit different look. Okay, so now I'm going to try to do some just small flowers. Just trying to decide how I want to do it. So I don't like that at all. I was trying to do 3 petals and that didn't work. Not the way I wanted it to look. So I think I'm going to try just using my palette knife. It's a little different effect just with the skewer. So we're just trying out different things. Playing around. Try my butter knife this time. The butter knife has a little softer edge than a palette knife. That's why I do like it. I think I like this one the least of all. So I'm trying to drag it to make it look a little more like the others, but that's not really working well. So make sure to wipe your tool, whatever you're swiping with, off when you're done each time so it stays clean. So I want this to feel very whimsical and not realistic looking at all, obviously. So I'm just trying to think what I'd like to add. I do know for sure that I want some kind of a green vine type thing, but I want it to be very whimsical feeling. I don't know why, but this this black this time has been very fluid. And maybe I'm putting too much on the canvas. Maybe I don't need to do quite as much black on the canvas. Maybe I need to just skim it a lighter coat. And maybe that's why my colors are bleeding and laying down really flat, because I don't really want them that flat looking. So that was that Peacock color. This is the Festive Green. So I'm trying to put in an even thinner layer down over the other. And basically what it does is it just makes the other color not look so flat looking. It gives it a little bit of three-dimensional feel. Because if you were like truly painting a painting, if you painted a vine, you would paint your first color, and then you would paint a shadow, and then you would paint a highlight on it. So this kind of the same concept, it's just fluid, so it makes it a little bit more challenging to do, but totally doable. And then my sour apple. So I'm barely squeezing this bottle. I'm not trying to put it on really heavy. I'm trying to do it with a very light touch. So that's that part, and I'm just curious to see. So you can take your little skewer and do little thingies, which just kind of look like little things coming off of your vine, like little branches and twigs or whatever of the vine. And then of course the only thing you would want is that all of them kind of go in the same direction, which just kind of logically makes sense, that they're all kind of going in one direction. Yeah, they can switch up a little bit too. It is whimsical, so it doesn't have to be perfection. So here, I'll just do them in all different directions. And so now I need some happy leaves. So I think I'll start with a little bit of white. Do a trowel leaf first before I do a bunch of them. And I may even want just a hint of yellow. So I'm going to try this. That's with my little palette knife. And see, I came into the flower. So then you just kind of blow your petal back out to the leaf. So that looks too like straight out of the flower. You want it more of a little twisty to it, so I'll make a note to myself to do that on the next one. So start again, but the color combination is right. And maybe I'll use my butter knife this time. And then you twist it at the end to give it that little end of the leaf look. So I like that one better because it didn't start like straight out of the petal. This one doesn't have enough paint on the end either. I like that one better. But I want to keep it a little more in tune with the colors of the vines, so I'm going to still use the white to just start it. So I don't have a lot of places because of my vines, so you got to kind of strategically plan where you want your leaves to be. Yeah, the butter knife you have just a little bit more control because you can be a little softer and then you can twist it at the end. So this one here, I'm going to see if I can kind of make it look like the other shapes. So so it doesn't stand out like a sore thumb. So it's coming together. I wish the vine had not spread out like it does, but that's okay. I'm going to do a couple other little smaller leaves, and then I want these little things to kind of go around the flower blooms. And then you also, if your leaf is near a vine or whatever, you can also just make sure things are connected to your leaf. So now I need some centers for my flowers. And I think I'm gonna add some black in the middle again. Sometimes your first flower on your canvas is most likely the worst one because you're kind of figuring out how you want to blow the flower. So there's a lot of paint there. And I'm going to cover up a couple of these little specks. I think I'll even do like a few leaves that just kind of go off the side. This way, if somebody buys this painting and they don't want to frame it, you just have a little bit of interest that goes over the edge. Little fantasy garden. I like it. I can't control it like I can paint flowers with the paintbrush, and you know, you have so much more control, but it also takes more skill, which I'm confident with. But with fluid art, you really have only so much control, which is a little intimidating. But the beauty of it is that it is fluid and it is kind of abstract, and so you're kind of free to do whatever you want to do. So this kind of looks funky here. I'm going to add a little more color just to separate it from the vine. You can even have the vines kind of interconnect a little bit. There's really no rules with this. So I want the centers of these to be colorful, but I noticed how like there the black is kind of being overtaken. So I just keep adding a little bit, but I want to put a pop of color in here. And I'm not going to do the same color because then it won't really stand out. And I'm going to use my little writer bottle and do some accents on the vines too. And this is really cool. It's a really dirty bottle, but you put your paint in this bottle. You screw this lid on, which you can interchange to different colors. You can put it straight on your craft bottle. And I put just a drop of water in it, but it produces this really kind of fine line that you can write with. So I'm just kind of using it to highlight my vines. So I like having multiple layers of color on my vines. When I do regular painting, like regular artwork, I always have a tendency to want to paint flowers anyway. I love colorful and whimsical and that kind of thing, so I just naturally lean towards florals. But I do try to, you know, get away from it and do abstracts and that kind of thing. Do masculine colors and switch it up occasionally. So this way, just some highlights here and there. So I think on the centers, I'm going to use these same colors to tie those in a way. And I'm going to leave these, I think, pretty much just as dots. I like that. So I'm going to try to put just a tiny dot of white because I still want that yellow and orange and all that to show, so I don't want to do a big dot that's going to cover it up. And as this dries, I may have to go back and add the white back on it. I'm not sure. See, this makes me just want to do a really psychedelic, funky petal pour on top of black with all these colors. Make it really funky. So right here, it went out of its space. So I'm just trying to get it back in. And it's kind of sinking in the yellow. But like I said, I may have to add it back in later anyway. My table has been so muddy looking the last few videos. So I tried to start out with a clean table and try to keep it clean this time. This one has really kind of lost its shape, unfortunately. So I'm basically just trying to kind of get the shape of the petal without making it look outlined, but it still looks outlined. See, I can't blow with the middle dots or it'll kind of mess them up. I was just trying to add a little bit of light to that pink area. So you can't run your bottle through it or it mixes the black in with the white. It's very tempting to drag the needle along the surface of the paint, which you cannot do. This looks really kind of messy in this area. But oh well. I don't want to mess it up, so I'm just going to leave it. I need a critter. I need a critter or two. So maybe over here where the black is almost dry, and hopefully that shape will stay. Like a ladybug. Maybe a bumblebee here. And so I'm taking 4 little dots. So taking these and dragging out. Just kind of like a little shape of a little tiny butterfly or something. Maybe I need to make it into a fly. So take the points off the wings, making a mess. Put some black back on here. So more like a circular looking thing. As if it were a little fly or something of some sort. Okay, so my little red bug here has got some black that's bleeding into it, so I'm going to try to straighten it out just a little bit. I do have a small bottle with black in it. Let's see if I can do this. It's kind of all blending, but it is what it is, right? It's kind of a ladybug. And then so this one would be a little bit striped. So that one you can't really tell, it's a bee, but anyway. We'll just swirl it around. That'll not become a bee. That does not look like a bee. Take it off. And what I'll do is, who knows, this could be a little bud. So there's a bud. And I'll put some green back over it. And there it is, and growing in the vine where the bee could not exist. All right. So I think I'm done. I am fairly pleased with it. It's funky, it's whimsical. It's not real, but it's happy and colorful. So I'm going to bring it up to you. Start there. So you kind of see the ladybug. And there's the little fly, or whatever you want to call it, little mini butterfly. So there it is. So like I say with all my videos, I hope you really enjoyed it. I know I did. It's just extremely fun for me to do this for you and experiment and play. And you know, every once in a while I'll sell a painting, which makes it worth it too, that somebody has the opportunity to have my artwork in their home. That's very gratifying to me. I like to bring people happiness. If you get some joy out of watching this, maybe learning something from it, or just, you know, watching because it's kind of therapeutic and you just enjoy watching, that's awesome too. I appreciate you following me along my art journey. I see so many of you that comment over and over again, and it means a lot to me. And I've got my Facebook group if you want to come join it. I've got Instagram if you'd like to go over to Instagram and follow me there, Sandra_Lett. Below the video there's a PayPal link. And if you want to do the paid membership, $4.99 a month, that comes out regularly, and I will give you some perks and extras for being a sponsor. Free prints and access to different things that maybe the general public doesn't have access to. Maybe an occasional free gift in the mail, or a shout out with your name, calling you my sponsor in my videos and things like that. So I'd like to give you an opportunity to get little extra things from me if you'd like to donate. So think about it, and thank you so much for watching. And if you subscribe, click down on the little bell down in the bottom right, and that will give you notifications when I post videos. Thank you again for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time. Thanks.